My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today to bring you a little quotation, an excerpt from the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. My husband and I alternate weekdays at 12 o'clock. And this, this day's quotation is a very interesting one. He says, "It is better to live in hell with one wise man than in heaven with 10 fools." And on the surface, of course, that makes, in fact, on any level, it makes complete sense. But on the surface, it would be true if it was a statement made in any aspect of life. But in this case, he's talking about the spiritual life. And it makes it particularly interesting if we read it sensitively. In hell with one wise man rather than in heaven with 10 fools. And the inclination of us human beings, the inclination of our ego condition, because as long as we're on this earth plane, we are likely in our egos. Unless we're fully liberated, we are in our egos. And we're in our egos to varying degrees, but it's the wise person who understands that in order to refine the ego, in order to change, in order to truly bring understanding and transformation to our consciousness, we need to be willing to take input from a wise person. And the typical thing, the normal thing in our human condition is to try to seek out those who will support us in our point of view, who will agree with us. If we're being negative, if we're gossiping, if we're, trying to deal with one issue in our life or another, we're going to naturally gravitate to those who agree with us. And that's partly what Yogananda is referring to here when he says the 10 fools, because they're simply reflections of our own ego nature. And as a result, they will not be able to help us spiritually. And those who help us spiritually are those who help us transcend our ego consciousness. And so they will likely not agree with us. And that doesn't mean just anybody who doesn't agree with us, because sometimes, fools can also not agree with us. But it means the person of wisdom. So you have to read this very carefully. He says it's better to live in hell with one wise man than in heaven with 10 fools. So every single word in that short sentence bears significant meaning to this particular statement on Yogananda's part. It's so easy for us to just spin around in our own delusions, in our own misunderstanding, by looking in the mirror and seeing the mirror reflection in other so-called friends or associates or authors or, any number of sources that can keep us going along that constant road of um, ego gratification until we just go lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's why it takes, as it says in the scriptures of the East, millions of lifetimes before we can free ourselves, become free of these delusions. And so this is a short sentence, but it's a very significant and important sentence to help us in experiencing the freedom of our souls, to tear away, to strip away the layers of ego, of confusion, of misunderstanding. It indeed is our best friend, is the one who reflects back to us the highest that is within us. And that is going to be that part of us that gains more and more transparency, less and less ego involvement in our thoughts and our activities. Those are our true friends. And those are the friends that we seek to have on the spiritual path when we want self-realization. So that's the thought for today. Joy to you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye now.